We're gonna go through the setup procedure on the ATV rack mount. So we've got all of our components laid out here, and we're gonna go through the setup process to attach it to the front rack. And we're gonna start by attaching this cross arm to the two brackets here. So you can kind of set this up and just mock up exactly what your height setting is going to be for the bar. We've got a couple different mounting options here where the U-bolts are going to go through. So on this one, there's not going to be a big difference between the top and bottom position, so we're going to set this up on the bottom position. We'll start off by just getting this U-bolt started in the bracket, U-bolt through the front, strap, and flange lock nuts on the back side. We're going to leave those loose for now. Get them attached on both brackets. Now we're going to insert the front bar through these U-bolts. The orientation of this bar is going to be such that you can put this bracket on the back side here, and you'll see the bolt locations line up. There's two different positions, the wide space and the narrow space. So the narrow space is going to be facing forward and rear, and the wide spacing is going to be vertically oriented. Now the next step is going to be installing the U-bolts and shims to mount these bars to the rack itself. So on this four-wheeler rack, it angles slightly forward, so that's the reason why we've provided shims, so that you can stack the shims underneath and bring this up so that it's more level. That way when the spreader is mounted on the post, it's not tilted forward, it's actually level or even angled slightly back. So on this application, I've got one shim installed between the elbow bracket and the ATV bar. If that's not enough angle, I'll use the second set of shims up front here to raise that up even more. We'll make that final adjustment once we get the bracket mounted up front. Again, I'm gonna leave all of these fasteners kind of loose so that I can make little adjustments as I go. Once I have everything set up, then I can go around and tighten all the hardware up. So let's put the bracket on the front. Again, for this one, you've got kind of a flange here. So the flange is going to be on the back side of the bar. You should see it go together just like that. And that's just to kind of maximize the strength of this component here, because the spreader being mounted up in the orientation that it is, we've designed it so that this is the correct orientation. We're going to install the carriage bolts, and you'll see there's a square feature underneath the head. The square feature aligns with a square cutout on the bracket, and then the flange lock nuts just installed on the bottom side. With that snug, it looks pretty vertical here. I'm just going to make a couple little adjustments, make sure that everything looks well aligned here. And then I can snug these fasteners up. And then the next step will be installing the spreader on top and guying it out. So I'm gonna snug all these fasteners up real quick. So you'll see the spreader is pitched forward just a little bit. Our guy out straps are gonna draw this back, but if for some reason taking the play out with the guy out straps doesn't get you to a more vertical orientation, then utilize the placement of the shims to try to get things more vertical. you'll maximize your throwing distance by having the spreader at least level, if not angled slightly back. So let's go ahead and put the guy out straps on. You'll see that'll really solidify this. Now that we've got the spreader attached to the ATV, the last remaining part is just let's connect power. So on this ATV, we've got a 12-volt cigarette adapter right up in front of the handlebars here. So we're just going to connect our SAE plug on the back side of the unit and plug that in, and then just tidy up your wires with a zip tie or a bungee strap or something. With the ATV spreader mounted up, again, at the front side, you're gonna get a lot better seed dispersion. You're gonna see exactly your spread width. You'll be able to judge your overlaps between passes much better. If you're spreading fertilizer or lime, I'd suggest mounting this on the back side of the unit so you're not driving through any of that dust that's kind of created. We'll go ahead and show you what the rear mount looks like with the rack assembly, just on the back side. So we've got the rack mount set up on the back of the ATV again, just trying to maximize versatility with this mount. You can use it on the front, you can use it on the back, you can use it horizontally, you can use it vertically. So I think this is a pretty common application. You'll see a lot of spreaders run this way. Definitely recommend this for spreading fertilizer and lime, just so that you have all that behind you. Any dust you're creating can kind of be left behind you. Obviously you can spread seed very effectively here as well. And the controls are easily accessible from the driver position. You know, no matter what vehicle you're using, we've got a mounting solution for you. Either the supplied 2-inch receiver hitch that comes with the unit itself, or the winch mount, or this rack mount that we're showing here.